Welcome back to the bettors on Sunday morning edition, 24th of January. We have a nice little 7-game NBA slate to go look through. There are a couple of lines that are incredibly off on this slate, and we will get right into it in a second. Please make sure to follow me on Twitter at the bettors on. If you have any feedback or comment, feel free to reach out, like the video or the podcast. It helps a ton. And if you want to tell my plays, you can go to patreon.com/thebarrelzone. So the odds screen is up and we are getting right into it. The first game on the board, Indiana Pacers hosting the Toronto Raptors. Game is off the board as Lowry is questionable for Toronto. The soft books have Indiana Pacers -1.5. If Lowry plays, I think the Raptors should be slight favorites, or this should be a pick'em at worst, based on how these two teams have been doing recently. Obviously, Oladipo has been traded. Levert, who was the return for the Pacers, is out. He will be out for a while. So yeah, through the last 2 weeks, the Raptors have been playing way better ball than they did before. They are allowing 4 less points per 100 possessions. Actually, they are in the top 10 easily right now defensively. And offensively, they have been also slightly better. Through the same stretch, the Pacers rank 20th defensively. They have a negative point differential. They have underperformed their closing spreads. The offense is scoring 1 less points per 100 possessions, and the defense is giving up 3 more points since Oladipo has been traded. So not really great, Bob. Both teams face pretty easy schedules, so there is nothing standing out there. So yeah, overall, I would probably lean Toronto. They only have 6 wins, but 8 expected wins. The recent form has been better. The defense has been way better. If Lowry plays, they will have everyone. And yeah, there is no real, and there isn't any real mismatch in this matchup. These teams are really close. It's just the recent form and the underperforming. Yeah, so the Raptors have been underperforming. It makes me lean that way. If you can grab a Toronto +1.5 right now on any of the books, I think that's just a coin flip in the worst case. So if Lowry is out, I think that's the realistic line. If he is in, this is probably closer to Toronto -1 or a pick'em. Based on how these two have been performing greatly. I don't think I'm going to get involved. Lowry did sit out the Friday game. I don't think he's going, and if he sits, this -1.5 on the Pacers is an absolutely fair line. But I think if Lowry plays, the Raptors are the side. And yes, I don't like the trends the Pacers are showing recently. Oladipo may have been, I may have been underestimated how much he meant to the team when we look at the recent performance by the Pacers. So yeah, no bet at the current line. I'm leaning Raptors if you can grab +1.5, especially if Lowry ends up playing. Second game, Boston Celtics hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is one where I really like a side, and that is the Cleveland Cavaliers. The game is off the board right now. The Celtics games usually are off the board because of their COVID issues, but we know that Tatum won't be playing, and he's the guy who matters to the spread. So yeah, if Tatum was playing, I would make this Boston -7, and we can get a 7 right now, knowing that he will be out. So yeah, bet the Cavs, I think. So yeah, they also have some Celtics also have some smaller injuries besides the Tatum one. So Fall, Pritchard, some guys from the bench are all out. So I think this has to be a downgrade for them, even just losing Tatum. Since Tatum went down, the team is scoring 5 less points per 100 possessions, which is insane. Through the last 2 weeks, they ranked 25th in the league offensively and 21st defensively. Point differential almost -7. They are underperforming their closing spreads by 6 points on average. So yeah, I mean, Tatum and the overall this whole COVID thing did hurt the Celtics a ton. I really don't like what I see from them right now, and they aren't a team that should lay 7 points. I think even at six, Cleveland should be a bet here. So the Cavs through the last 2 weeks, 17th best offense, 19th best defense. The defense has been struggling a bit, but they did face a really difficult schedule. Some of the top teams in the league. Still, through this stretch, they are +4 against the closing spreads on average. And through the whole season, the Cavs defense ranks as the fifth best squad on the defensive end, which is pretty amazing as they faced a really tough schedule of offenses. So yeah, if you just check, since Tatum has been out, Cleveland is the better offense, the better defense. They are better against the spread. They have a better point differential, and out of these two squads, the only unit that has been consistently good is the Cleveland defense. They force the most turnovers in the league. Boston gives up the ninth most turnovers. Cleveland allows the fourth least free throws. Boston already has a problem getting those free throws. So yeah, I really like the Cleveland side. Both of these squads have played similar schedule difficulties. Rebounding is very similar. So yeah, I think just the Cleveland defense is just better than the Boston defense right now, and I don't think this Boston squad can lay 7 points. Even six with Tatum. I think the realistic line is like 4.5, maybe 5. But even at 5, I would probably lean towards the Cavs. I don't mind getting like a fair market number here, to be honest, with the Cavs. Also, both teams are playing tomorrow, but so you cannot really have an angle with that. Obviously, Cleveland is hosting the Lakers. Will be a tough game, but they will probably just focus on this one more. This is a more winnable one. I don't like what we see from the Boston side right now. So if you can find Cleveland plus 7 or 6.5, those are all good bets. Even at 5.5, I would bet them. Next game, I will be quick on this. LA Clippers hosting the OKC Thunder. Spread is 12.5. This is this is a rematch, one of these duplex games. We've already seen this a few days ago. Same matchup. The spread was the same. Clippers won by 14. The defense has been their issue to start the season, but through the last few weeks they have been ramping it up. Now they are top 10 also defensively. They are allowing 4 less points per 100 possessions than they did before to start the season. Through the last 2 weeks, plus 17 is the Clippers point differential, plus 8 against the closing spreads. They are a 6-game win streak, covered all 4 last games. They have been laying double digits in the last 2, but yeah, so they have been covering these big spreads. And the OKC Thunder have failed to cover the big spreads themselves. They've got plus 10 or more in 3 games recently. They have failed to cover all of them. I don't like the matchup for them, to be honest. The Clippers are getting to the rim at an insane percentage. They are shooting the most shots close to the rim with the 70% field goal percentage on average, which is the best in the league. And OKC allows the 5th highest field goal percentage this close to the rim. Also, terrible 3-point. So yeah, I mean, I don't really like anything about OKC right now. They have been playing some tough defense early, but it has regressed, and now the offense is just terrible. They are last in the league in points per possession, last in offensive rebounding, 25th in in free throw rate. I mean, and the Clippers on the other side are basically the best team offensively, 58% effective field goal percentage, best in the league. They are putting up the most points per 100 possessions. So yeah, overall, I won't waste more time on this game. The spread is right. The Clippers are way better. They should cover this. I think if something, this is a bit short. We will see how this goes. I'm not laying double digits with the Clippers yet, but I'm kind of starting to accept that this is a team that can lay these numbers, and they are getting better at covering them. Next game, Orlando Magic hosting the Charlotte Hornets. This is a close one. I have a slight lean here, but I don't really have a number edge. I'm making this Orlando -1, so the market is at -1.5. I mean, both teams are in pretty rough shape. If you just check the recent results, Magic have won one out of their 8 games. They did lose an OT game the last time out against the Pacers. Charlotte is on a 4-game skid, but at least the Hornets are healthy. The Magic won't have still Fultz, who is out for the season. Michael Carter Williams is out. Bamba is out. At least Fournier is back for them. I mean, he's their second, third best player. But through the last 2 weeks, the Magic have been the second worst offense in the league. They are bottom 10 defensively. They have been a very decent defense to start the season. They have a -10 point differential, underperforming closing spreads by 7 points on average. On the other side, the Hornets are within 15th and 20th in basically everything through the season, and that's true for the last few weeks as well. But they have a slightly positive spread differential. So yeah, at least they are not underperforming that much. And the big difference to me is that the Magic have faced the third easiest schedule in the league, and the Hornets have faced the eighth most difficult. So a huge difference in schedule difficulty. Hornets are a bit healthier. Better recent performances would make me wanna lean towards their side. One thing to know: the Magic have a huge rebounding edge on paper. So they are 12th in offensive rebounding, while the Hornets defense is 28th, and the Magic is 4th in defensive rebounding, while the Charlotte offense is 14th. So yeah, one thing, again, the Hornets know that they have trouble rebounding the ball, and they have been making an effort on that side. Through the last 4 games, they have been way better when it comes to rebounding the ball. Offensive rebounding percentages of 31, 26, 37, and 34. So yeah, they are trending in the right direction. They have been losing these games, which is one thing I have to add, but the rebounding is looking slightly better. They are fully healthy. So yeah, I lean towards them, but very minimal number edge. Yeah, I think staying away is completely fine. Next game, San Antonio Spurs hosting the Washington Wizards. Wizards are returning from a 12-day rest, as they had the most COVID issues in the league. We know that the teams that they played had all issues after they have played the Wizards. So most likely they were the team who started this big recent outbreak. They had 6 games postponed, so the league will make them play this game no matter what happens. Currently, they have 7 healthy players and 2 guys who are questionable. So the guys who are out, Bryant is out for the season. This is injury related. Hachimura is out. Bertans, Mo Wagner, who slid into a backup role with Bryant out. Troy Brown, Ish Smith. I think that's the list of the guys who will not be playing here. That's like 2 or 3 starters, couple of key backups. So yeah, Westbrook is questionable, but what I mean, he might be forced to play by the league, just making sure the Wizards have 8 players required to play a game. But this is Spurs or bust. I won't go into the details why, but I mean, the Wizards are incredibly hurt. I don't like anything they have left besides Beal. Obviously, Beal will be playing, and he on his own is a guy who is able to just cover games if he feels like it. And I don't like to lay too many points with the Spurs. They are just the 22nd best offense in the league, so they aren't a team that can confidently cover games like this. But I mean, they are top 10 defense, and they have a positive point differential through the season despite playing a top 10 schedule difficulty. They are fully healthy. Murray is questionable for them. He rolled his ankle. He might sit out, but I mean, yeah, it's not like a giant issue. They have guards for days. So yeah, I would make this Spurs -5 if everyone was playing for the Wizards 5 or 5.5. I think the guys who I mentioned out, like Hachimura, Bertans, etc., etc., and just the depth and the cluster injuries. This should be at least Spurs -7.5, maybe 8. But I mean, if this goes up to like 9 or 10, I won't touch the Wizards. We know that Westbrook is inefficient even if he plays, and Beal on his own he's decent. But I mean, the Spurs know how to win the must-win games, and this is a must-win game for them. There are some money line prices out there with Spurs around -200. I think that's a great bet. I don't think they can lose this game, to be honest. No matter if Westbrook plays or not. As for the spread, at 6.5, I would probably play the Spurs at 6 for sure. But yeah, so I mean, this could balloon up. It's really hard to set lines when you have these type of cluster injuries, such a long layoff. And yeah, and the Wizards are a weird team to start with. So yeah, lean Spurs. I think moneyline parlay piece are just laying the money line straight up. They won't lose this game. Next game is another one where I have a strong lean, but we have to start with the injury news as Trae Young is questionable for the Hawks, and Hunter is also questionable with a knee issue. So the Bucks are hosting the Hawks. Game is off the board right now. This opened -9, which is an insanely bad line if everyone is healthy for both teams. We were down to 7, leaning towards 6.5 when this was pulled. My line is 6.5 here, but even at 6.5, I would probably bet the Hawks. The reasons we will go into that. Let's just say that I think this is a great matchup, and they have been making improvements. So both teams have been facing a pretty easy schedule. Milwaukee the 22nd, Atlanta the 23rd most difficult, so I mean basically equal. The Hawks got Gallinari and Reddish back. They both will be available to them. The depth has been getting better and better, and I think it will show. So the Hawks are the 10th best offense in the league, 6th best defense. Offensively, they have been struggling a bit for a while, but the shots have started to fall. I said this many times that this slump is mostly due to Young not hitting his shots, and those will come back, and they started to come back. So the defense, it is the third best defense through the whole league through the last 2 weeks. They have been allowing incredibly low 102 points per 100 possessions through the last 2 weeks, +7 point differential, +2 against the closing spreads. On the other end, Milwaukee, I rate them well within my top 10, but I am not buying the defense. I mean, this is almost like the 10th best defense or 9th best defense. They aren't a top unit. Through the last 2 weeks, +6 points differential, -2 against the spread on average. So they have been underperforming the spreads. Point differential not as good as the Hawks, despite facing a similar schedule. Rebounding, you know that this is super important for me. Hawks, second best offensive rebounding team. Milwaukee is the 12th best defensive rebounding team. Atlanta, defensive rebounding, third in the league. Milwaukee, offensive rebounding is just 11th. Hawks are drawing the most free throws. I mean, if you do that and you out-rebound your opponent, you will probably play at least some close games, even if you face such a high-powered offense as the Milwaukee one. So yeah, these are two decent squads. I think the Hawks are a bit better than what we've seen in the last 2-3 weeks when the shots weren't really falling. But I mean, Capella is playing like a beast. They will have a rebounding edge. They have the slightly better defense. Obviously, Milwaukee has the slightly better offense. But I mean, this is a super close game. Both teams have performed very similarly against similar schedule difficulty, and one team is laying 7 points. So yeah, I make this 6.5. If everyone is playing for Atlanta, I would bet the 7 if you can grab one. But you can grab some 9s out there on softbook still. I mean, I don't mind playing a fair price here, but follow the injuries. If Young and Hunter are also out, this should probably go to 10, 11, maybe more. They're at least worth, I think, 4 points. Hunter is the most efficient offensive scorer on the team. He's putting up 128 points per 100 possessions. He's super good. Young is putting up 115, which is also obviously with his usage rate insane. So yeah, I'm leaning towards the Hawks. Any fair price, I don't mind. I think this is just a good matchup for them. And yeah, one more thing. Milwaukee, obviously one of the top 3-point shooting teams. They are in the top 10 when it comes to the amount of 3-pointers they put up, and they are top 4 in efficiency. Hawks are allowing the third lowest 3-point percentage, which is also one thing that makes me want to love this matchup together with the rebounding edge and the way they have been playing defensively. So even if Young and Hunter is out and this goes over 10, I think I would probably bet the Hawks. But if everyone is playing, 7 is a sweet line with Atlanta. All right, last game on the board, and it's also another one where I think I have a huge edge. This is probably my favorite game on the board. I will be betting the New York Knicks here. I'm making the line. Portland Blazers are hosting the Knicks. Sorry, I forgot to mention. So the Blazers should be 4-point favorites if everyone is healthy, but they are without McCollum and Nurkic. Those are two of their best 3 players. They have zero depth on this team, so I mean, them out should be a 4 to 5 point downgrade. I think I would make the Knicks slight favorites here, or at least a pick 'em in the that's the absolute worst I can make them. Portland through the last 2 weeks, 26th best defense. Through the whole year, 29th best defense. I mean, since in the last 2 weeks, they have a -5 point differential. They are -10 on average against closing spreads. CJ is the best offensive piece on the team with the way he has evolved his shooting. The best shooter on the defense. Nurkic is super essential. All the backups are trash defensively. It's just a very, very, very top heavy team, thin. I will be fading them until the guys come back. New York is fully healthy. Rivers is questionable for them. They have faced a slightly more difficult schedule this season than Portland. Their defense has been a top 5 unit, bar none. They are allowing the 4th lowest points per possession, the lowest effective field goal percentage in the league at 49.6%. They are allowing the lowest 3-point shooting percentage, which is incredibly important here as the Blazers shoot the most threes in the league. Also, New York protecting the rim at a great rate, top 5 defense around the rim. They also defend mid-range jumpers well. Lillard likes to shoot those. So I mean, I know the Knicks aren't a great great offense. Sorry. So yeah, this could be close. The total is super low, 212.5. But I mean, they are fully healthy, and they are getting points against a team that is deeply flawed with 2 of the 3 best players out. And the Knicks are just a world-class defense, and Portland has no defense at all. So yeah, I think you should play probably Knicks money line. I think they will win this. This could be low scoring and ugly, and the points could matter, but there are some plus 145s out there, which is an amazing bet in my opinion. So yeah, I'm not sure how this line is out there with the Blazers missing those 2 guys. I had to double and triple check to make sure this is the correct line out there, but I think the Knicks are the better team right now in their current form. So, recapping, I like the Raptors a bit. If Lowry plays at the current line at +2, I would probably play with even with Lowry out. If he's in, I think any plus money on the money line is good. I like the Cavs at 6 or more, getting 6 or more. I lean towards the Hornets, no real number edge, but I think this is a decent matchup, and I will continue to fade the Magic for a bit. I really like the Hawks. I think 6.5 is a fair price. I'm willing to pay that. If you get a 7 with Young and Hunter playing, that's amazing. And I like the Knicks. Even at Pick'em, I would probably bet them. You can get plus 3.5 right now, or plus 145 on the money line. I think those are great bets. So that's it for today. We have 10 games late tomorrow on Monday. Some rematches. So the games we see today, a couple of them will be on tomorrow as well. This will be pretty interesting, and we also have some high-profile games like the Nuggets Mavs, which is one I'm really looking forward to. We can probably fade the Celtics again with the Chicago Bulls at home tomorrow. So yeah, some good stuff. That's it from me today. I will be back at the same time tomorrow. Please make sure to like the video, the podcast if it helped you. Subscribe to the feeds. And follow on Twitter at the bettors. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back at the same time tomorrow morning.